What's going on, guys? If you've looked around the channel, you've seen some of the videos I've done in the past on boots and such. Won't get off in the weeds too much on rehashing stuff there, because we could just go on forever with that. There's so many different possible combinations of environments you may find yourself in: cold, hot, wet, dry, you know, all that. There's no way to sit here and honestly say you should get this kind of boot or that kind of boot or whatever. Honestly, boots are going to be like a lot of other things. You're probably going to end up having to have a couple of pair for different purposes, so that you can use whichever one's appropriate at the time for what you're trying to do. That's kind of the conclusion that I've come to after having gone back and forth on different things over the past few years. You've probably seen in the past videos the Blackhawk Warrior Wear boots that I've talked about. These are still probably my favorites. Say what you will about them. They're just ridiculously comfortable right out of the box. No break-in. They feel almost like good comfortable tennis shoes or something on your feet. The durability on these has been great. While they're not waterproof, they're not Gore-Tex lined or anything like that, they have done a really good job of keeping the water out of the boots. Now, I haven't had them in anything where the water was like way up on the sides, probably 2 or 3 inches maybe, and they've done great. If you stand in the water long enough where it's up over fairly high on the boot, you're probably going to get a little bit of leakage. But other than that, these are still some of my favorite just general purpose boots for my area. In the last year or so, with some of the new rain gear that I've acquired, I decided I wanted to go ahead and get a pair of waterproof boots, Gore-Tex line, whatever, just something that's waterproof. Because now I've got the ability to completely keep water off of me. Before, in years past, when I was just running a raincoat or a poncho or something like that, I'd keep the upper half or 2/3 of my body dry. But if water got down, rain blowing, hit your pants legs and got you wet enough, you'd start getting water running down the inside of your legs into the top of your boots. So even if you had Gore-Tex ones, you'd still get rainwater inside the top of your boots, and then you're walking around in a bucket full of water all day. Well, with recent rain suits that I've got a couple of different ones. You've seen some of them, the GI multicam level 6 stuff and level 5 stuff, the proper Adventure Tech stuff that I've got, and the Red Lid stuff. With those pants on, that covers the top of your boot, so now you can be pretty much waterproof from head to toe if you've got a good pair of waterproof boots on. So, rambling on about that, I started looking around and trying stuff probably middle of the year last year maybe, and one of the first things I picked up just to try were some of the just plain old issue GI Gore-Tex boots. There's about 4 or 5 different companies that contracted out for those. One of them is Belleville. Belleville does one of them, which is what these are. These are Gore-Tex, which I hope you can see that. They're waterproof. These have proven to be absolutely 100% waterproof boots. I have been walking half a day in a swamp that the water was literally up to here on them for a couple hours straight, and these were bone dry inside. They're not overly hot. I have worn them in below freezing weather, and my foot wasn't, or my feet rather, they weren't cold, but they weren't warm by any stretch. So they're kind of a balance in between there. I've worn them in some hotter weather, and while they weren't cool, I didn't feel like I was dying in them either. So for the money, you know, these are probably a good choice. My biggest complaint with these is after being up in them like all day, up and down, walking around, in and out, that sort of thing. I won't say that my feet hurt, but they were definitely fatigued. It was kind of that thing at the end of the day where you're taking your boots off and your feet are going, oh, bless you, you know, that sort of thing. In comparison, my Blackhawks, I can wear them all day and take them off, and my feet feel just the same as when I put them on in the mornings. So these definitely had a little bit of fatigue to them. And honestly, for the time that I've worn them, these are still getting broken in. And I've had them on for a couple of all-day trips. I wore them on a 24-hour overnight trip, up walking a lot in them for, you know, a couple of days. And I would say they're probably still not completely broken in. They're probably 80, 85% maybe, something like that. But they still got some more breaking in to do. Now I fully expect that these are going to be plenty tough, long-lasting boots. No reason why they shouldn't be. So if you're on a budget and you want a good solid pair of boots, look on eBay. You can find these all over. Like I said, there's about 3 or 4 different companies that make them. These are the Bellevilles. They all pretty much look the same, but there you go. You can get these for anywhere from $50 to probably $70, depending on, you know, if you shop around on eBay and whatever. I got these brand new. They weren't used, so you can get brand new ones and not have to break the bank in the process. Just understand a couple of those caveats that there is definitely a break-in period on these, and you know, you might have, you know, some fatigued feet while you're breaking them in. So if you do get these, make sure you break them in good, as soon and as quickly as possible, so that before you actually have to rely on them, they're broke in good. So I think these are a viable option, very, very viable option. However, I wasn't completely satisfied. So I kept looking around, and one of the things for me with the boots was, I didn't want to break the bank because I'm not made of money, and unfortunately I don't have people just giving this stuff to me. But I wanted something good quality too. This is stuff that I plan on relying on and staking, you know, myself and my family on. So like with all the rest of my gear, I want the best quality I can get for what I can afford. And I know a lot of other survival and preparedness line of people are just, you know, everyday working Joes like me, and everybody's on a budget, and you can't just go drop $300 or $400 on one pair of boots. I'm a really big fan of Danner boots for a couple of different ones, but some of the ones that I've had really good experience with in the past that I actually wanted to go back to have now just went through the roof price-wise. Ditto with a couple of Rocky boots. So in looking around and just kind of being patient and looking, I finally come across something that just really struck me, and it was almost too good to be true. The Blackhawk boots that I love so much and are so lightweight and comfortable. Oh, speaking of that, let me pause right there before I forget to mention it. That is one difference between like the Blackhawks and the Issue GI ones. there is a weight difference. The GI ones are definitely heavier boots. I haven't put them on a scale, so I can't tell you what the weight difference is. There is a difference. The Blackhawks are definitely lighter weight than what these are. These are a heavier boot. You know, you got a little bit more weight on you feet when you're wearing them. So, excuse me. Back to what I was saying. I wanted something that was going to be a good boot, as light as I could get it without being stupid, waterproof, and really good quality. The Blackhawks you can get, give or take, right around $120, which for a good pair of boots is a really good price point. Especially considering, like I said, some you can get up $200, $300, $400 or more. So, what I ended up finding were these. Now, some of you watching may be familiar with these. Some of you won't be. So if you are, then just ignore me. And those of you that aren't, here you go, this is for you. This boot is made by Danner. This is the Danner, and I believe I'm pronouncing it right, it's the Tanicus. This is their 8-inch Mojave colored boot. And the Mojave color for them is basically the equivalent of like a coyote color. It's a little bit darker coyote than what the Blackhawk is. This boot has very similar construction to the Blackhawk. I really like the sole on these. The Blackhawk and the GI boots both have Vibram soles. This is a sole that's of Danner's own making. At least that's how it's marked. They may contract it out to somebody, I don't know. But I really like the tread pattern on there. It gives you some nice big tread blocks that give you good traction, but they don't tend to clog up with mud real easily. They really do shed mud and dirt quite well. The two key points on these boots were, number one, they're waterproof. Now, they don't use Gore-Tex. They use Danner's own equivalent of Gore-Tex, which is, it's called Danner Dry. It's basically, I don't know a lot about it, but basically it's supposed to be a similar equivalent to like Gore-Tex. It's a waterproof, breathable membrane that's in the boot. One of the complaints about Gore-Tex sometimes can be that it doesn't always breathe quite as well as what they advertise it, and in hotter weather, some people find that their feet do sweat quite a bit and end up getting wet anyway from the sweat inside. I found that to kind of be, 50-50 depending on the boot. The GI one that I've got are actual Gore-Tex, as I showed you, and I haven't had a lot of issue with my feet sweating in them. Yeah, your feet are going to sweat, but if you use the right socks and everything, you shouldn't pull your foot out and it just be dripping with moisture. These boots have proven to be 100% waterproof for me, and I honestly believe that they breathe significantly better than the actual Gore-Tex ones. These, I have not had any problem, especially here recently when the weather getting hotter, of my feet sweating in these at all. These are probably as lightweight or lighter than the Blackhawks. Huge plus there for me for a general purpose boot, especially one that if you plan on using it for bad times doing security patrols around your property, or if for whatever reason you got a bug out on foot or something and you're going to be walking a lot, that lighter weight's a big deal. So waterproof, they breathe pretty good, really lightweight, really comfortable. They're probably 90 90 to 95% as comfortable in my book as what the Blackhawks are. They're not quite there, but boy, they're doggone close. I mean, it's really close. These are very, very comfortable boots. The price point on them is the other big point. You can get these, I found them on a place on Amazon for I think 120 with free shipping. So about the same price as what the Blackhawks are. You know, sometimes you can hit things like this on sale, get coupons, whatever. You might can get it for a little bit less. Another good point on these is they have a matching companion pair to these that don't have the waterproof lining in them and are vented right here. They're the hot weather version of the same boot. So, excuse me, for $240, which is less than most of what some of the other higher end boots cost, you could have two pair of boots, a hot weather vented pair and a waterproof pair. That's a good thing in my book, because then if you've got two pair of boots like that, you've got a pretty good range of environments covered, and with them both being the same, they're going to fit the same, feel the same, and act the same on your foot. So that's a value added point for me. Only things I've noticed on this boot are there is a break-in period, and it's nowhere near what the GI ones are. It's not quite as out of the box ready to go as the Blackhawks. You do need to get a couple of days of break-in on them. I know this. I do this. I've done it for years. I didn't do it with this pair of boots. I didn't completely break them in before I did an all-day training class with them. Paid a little price as a result for that. Again, they don't have a huge break-in period, but you do need to get, you know, some wear on them a little bit to get them done. What happened for me by not completely breaking them in before I wore them in this all-day class, where I was up on them for 12 hours, running a gun and doing stuff, on both feet in almost the exact same place, right on the inside edge of my heel, I got a little teeny small blister on each side of my foot, or each foot rather, right on the inside. Wasn't a big massive, you know, oh my God, look at that blister. It wasn't debilitating. It was that little teeny oval shaped annoying blister that just drives you nuts and just aggravates the daylights out of you, kind of thing. But a blister is a blister, and that's something that you got to be mindful of. You want to avoid them. So I also made the mistake of wearing the wrong pair of socks. I didn't wear my normal socks that I wear with these boots. I wore a thinner pair that day, and for the life of me, I don't know why I did that. So that probably contributed as much to that issue as not having them broke in did. So that's all on me, not the boot. So that said, give these a look if you're looking for a good lightweight waterproof boot that won't break the bank. These are the Danner Tanicus. They've got them in tan, and I forget what other colors, but they do have the Mojave color, which is this one. It's kind of the darker coyote brown color. Shop around for it and you can find them. I do recommend this boot. This is probably going to be my go-to waterproof pair of boots. For the weight, the comfort, the price, the fact that they're waterproof, this just makes a really, really good low maintenance field boot. So, if you guys got any questions, hit me up. I'll try to answer them. Throw them out there and let me know. I don't know what else I can really say other than I really like these. You can look at them and see they're typical Danner quality. A lot of Danner's boots are made in America. This particular pair isn't. They're contracted out overseas. That's up to you if that's a problem or not. For me, it's not. I would definitely prefer made in America, but to have a pair of good boots on my feet at half the price, but I'm not really sacrificing anything in quality in my book, I'll take these for sure. So again, got questions, hit me up, let me know, I'll try to answer them. Sorry to ramble on so long, but there's just no way to say this in 10 words or less. So there you go, Danner Tanicus 8-inch Mojave waterproof boots. Check them out, put them on your feet will thank you for having a good pair of boots. Take care guys, we'll talk to you later.